Hello, dear designers. You're welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I am Chiwendo. And if this is your first time coming across my channel, you are welcome. If you have been a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. Welcome back. Today, we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful double sleeve. This sleeve came with a chantilly lace as the straight hand, and then with this puffy hand on the outside, you can see. So if this sounds like what you're interested in learning, keep on watching. Let's get started. All right. So I'll be making this particular sleeve with, like I said, chantilly as the straight hand. And then for the inside, I'll be making use of a mikado. You can see my chantilly. That is what I'm showing you right now. I've cut out my straight sleeve. It is very simple to cut out a basic sleeve. If you haven't seen or you don't know how to cut it, I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft and cut your basic straight sleeve. Okay, now here is the lining I'm going to be making use of. All right, now this is my mikado fabric. That is what I use for the body of the blouse. And then this is my fusible interface, which I'm going to use to strengthen the fabric. All right, and then I have my crinoline, I have my ruler, my scissors, I have a curved ruler and a straight ruler as well. Now, for us to draft out the outer part of this sleeve, you'll be making use of 1 yard, just because I'm making two part of the sleeve. Okay, so I folded into four. You can see I actually folded twice and then folded again, making it four folds. Now I'm trying to arrange my fabric to be sure that everything aligns properly. Now for this type of sleeve, it has a puffy effect, and for you to have a puffy effect on any of your sleeve, you have to first of all mark out a 2 inches mark. Can you see? So you can see I made the first line, and after that, from that line, I came down by 2 inches. Now, this 2 inches mark is going to be the cap of my sleeve. Now, the upper part is going to be where I'll be having the puffy effect. I hope you understand. Now, after that, I went down to my cap height. To determine your cap height, divide your bust circumference by 12, and then you can add 1 inch, 0.75 or half an inch. It depends on what you want. Okay, now after that, I went ahead to determine the length of my sleeve. I want this sleeve to be slightly above the elbow point, so I'm making use of 13 inches. You can see I've marked it and I'm trying to draw it across. Now after that, I'll move over to the cap height line, and I'm going to divide my armhole measurement by 2. So my armhole is 18 divided by 2. I have 9, which is what I input on that cap height line. And after that, I'm going to divide the distance between these points together. You can see where my tape is. Okay, we have different ways of drafting out our sleeve, so that is what I'm trying to do right now. Right now, I marked it across, and after that, from the center of my sleeve, I'm going to come in by 4 inches, which is my cap height. That is the figure I got after dividing my bust circumference by 12 plus 0.75. Okay, so I came in, and you can see I use this part of my French curve to connect to the sleeve crown, and after that I turn my ruler over just like that to connect to the underarm of my sleeve. You can see, so our round sleeve is ready. Okay, that is where we are going to be joining into the armhole is ready. Now you can see I'm going to bring in my curve again, and then I'm going to slightly connect like this. Can you see? So this will help bring out the puffy effect of my sleeve. If you are cutting out anything puffy, as long as it's a sleeve, make sure you come down with at least 2 inches before you start to draft out your men's sleeve. It helps you like bring out the puffy effect, to have that puffy effect. I hope you understand me. Now, having done that, I'm going to move over to the hemline. Now, you guys, I don't want this sleeve to be very wide. That's why I did not add any extra inches after dividing my armhole by 2. Okay, you can see I use the exact round armhole divided by 2. Okay, now I went down to the hemline. I added the armhole divided by 2, which is 9, and then I added extra 2 inches and then connected. Okay. Now from the hemline, I'm going to go up by at least 3 inches just to have that like curve effect around that part of the sleeve. I know by the time you have already seen the inspiration, so you understand what I'm trying to explain. Okay. Now remember, I told you that I don't want this sleeve to be too wide. If you want this sleeve to be too wide, that means you're not going to do just your armhole divided by 2. You're going to add extra inches so that your sleeve can be at least a little bit bigger. Okay, my own is going to be just moderate. I hope you understand. So now, having done that, I'm going to go ahead and pin it together because I have this folded into 4, right? Because I'm cutting out 2 sleeves at once. So for me to be able to cut it properly, I'm going to pin it down, and then you can see I'm trying to add up my 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, yeah, that is that. Then after that, I'm equally going to add half an inch for joining the sleeve to the armhole of my blouse. You can see, so that is what I am doing right here. Now remember what I said, I keep repeating it. Some people, if you see their sleeve, it used to be like very, very big. If you want it very big, do not use your armhole divided by 2. Did not put just your armhole divided by 2 on the cap height line. I kept repeating it. Okay, please do not come here and tell me that why is it that you saw some that are very big and my own is small. I just want it like average. I don't want it very exaggerated. Okay, now having done that, I went ahead to cut out my side, and then you can see right at the hemline I'm adding half an inch, which is what I'm going to use to turn the lining. I hope you understand. Yeah, that is it. So once I am done cutting it out, I'll go ahead and cut the exact same thing on my lining. Okay, so yeah, I am done. You can see I'm just trying to show you that I'll be having a puffy. You can see how extended that part of the sleeve crown is, right? Now this is for my lining. I'm going to cut the exact same thing on my lining. This lining, the fabric is on a fold of 4, and I pinned it down. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay. Now you can see the way I cut out that part that has the seam allowance, right? Okay. And then we are done with this. I'm going to remove my pins, and now is the time for us to fuse in the paper gum into it. Okay. If you want it to be very strong, you can use a soft peplum gum. Okay, or even the hard one. It depends on how you want the sleeve, but I decided to use this paper gum because I don't want it too strong. There's a way this the fabric will be too strong. When you try sewing it into the armhole, it will be too like bulky, right? So I'm done fusing in the paper gum, and here I'm just showing you that I'll be turning the hemline with the crinoline. Okay, so you see I'm just showing you how I will sew the down parts with the lining. Okay, so the reason why I pinned it together is because I don't want it shifting away from each other. I mean the actual fabric and the lining piece shifting away from each other by the time I want to make my stitches. All right, so now we are going to like move over to the sewing machine so I show you exactly how to stitch the crinoline into it. Okay, because yeah, so here is how I will do that. You see, please watch carefully because we have different ways of like sewing in crinoline into the hemline of our fabric or whatever it is we are making. So yeah, you see. So first of all, I'm going to stitch using 1/2 inch. Now remember, even though I did not show you, the lining is right at the top and the actual fabric is right at the down part. I'm not saying that is the way you must sew it. That is where you must face it while sewing. Okay, as long as you are joining it together, anywhere can be facing upwards. Okay, so I am done stitching using 1/2 inch. Remember, this is done right at the hemline. After that, I'm going to now remove my pins and then I will open it up for you to see. See, so I'm going to top stitch towards the lining part. Please, your top stitch should be towards the lining parts, not on the main fabric. All right, and you should do that very closely. So you can see that is what I'm doing right here. I just decided to show you guys how to stitch in the crinoline into this lining, so you know. And that also works when you're making a skirt that you want, like a mermaid skirt. Okay, it's way easier. So I am done top stitching, and the next thing, I'm going to bring in my crinoline so that we sew it into this. Okay, so please watch carefully. Now, before I do that, you know that this thing can actually poke. I use my masking tape to secure the rough edge, right, of the crinoline. And then you can see now the crinoline must be facing the lining parts, and then I'm stitching these on the top stitch. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm stitching it on the top stitch towards the lining. Okay, so the part that the crinoline is facing is my lining. The other side is the actual fabric. So when I'm getting towards the other side, I'm going to use my scissors and then cut off the excess. And then I'm going to bring in my masking tape and then tape down the rough edge. So this thing is quite easy. When you watch this, you watch carefully, you will understand everything I am doing. It is that easy. Okay, please don't mind that hand. I have a friend with me, so she's just trying to like tell me something. She's like gisting me while I'm making this tutorial. Okay, so you can see I've secured the edge and I'm going to finish up. Now, if you notice, I did not bring the crinoline close to the seam line, like the side seam, because I don't want a situation where when I will be joining the side seam, it will enter into the seam, even though it entered a little. Okay, but yeah, we are done, and I'm going to like flip it over like this. You can see that this method is very simple. This method of adding your crinoline to the hemline of whatever it is you're making. You see? So yeah, that is that. Now I'm going to show you exactly how to close it down. Okay, this is the neater way of finishing your sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and place it, the actual sleeve, that is the actual fabric of the sleeve to the actual fabric of the sleeve, and then lining to lining. Can you see? And I'm going to sew using 1 inch. You can see why I did not bring it, the crinoline, closer to the side seam allowance. Okay, so I've done that, and I'm trying to cut off some excess allowance. I'm going to leave just about 1/2 inch. Okay, you can see. So I'm done cutting it out. I'm going to now turn it like this over. Okay, so this way, this method of finishing your sleeve will help you not to like see any part of the seam allowance on the inside. It's going to be like an inseam finishing. Okay, so yeah, that is it. I'm sure most of us knows this method. Okay, it's just me like trying to tell you what you know again. All right, so now that I'm done, I'm going to move over to my sewing machine and secure the round sleeve. Okay, secure both the lining and the actual fabric together so that I can easily join it to the armhole of my blouse. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to show you right here. And then after that, I'll also join my straight sleeve. Okay, so you see I haven't joined the side seam. I'm going to go join it. And then this is the one I have fixed. You can see what it looks like. Now I'm going to use this other side to show you how to stitch this into the armhole of your blouse. Okay, so you're going to bring the underarm of the sleeve and then the underarm of your blouse. Use your pin to secure it. Okay, having done that, you're going to go ahead and sew round. Okay, and if there is any excess, there must be an excess because of the way you cut out the sleeve. You can see that the crown of the sleeve is way too pointy, right? So you will surely have excess. That is for the pleats around the shoulder area. Okay, so that is what I am trying to show you right here. Now after securing the underarm, next thing is to notch the center of the crown. Can you see? And then after that, go ahead and place it on the shoulder of the armhole just like this, and then use your pin to secure it. This way, when you want to stitch, you will have like excess and know where to start to pleat. Okay, so it's very simple. Even though I will not show you how to join it, but I know you already know how to do this. It is very simple. So first of all, you're going to join the outer part of the sleeve to the armhole of the blouse. Okay, there is other ways of doing this where you will join the straight hand and the outer part of the sleeve before joining it into the armhole, but I think this one is way easier. You can see I've joined it and this is what it looks like. Now having done that and having joined the side seam of my straight sleeve, I'm now going to go ahead and bring in the straight sleeve. Can you see I've joined the side seam, and then I'm going to, you see the way I flipped it, right? Now from the inside I'm going to start to join the straight sleeve, making sure that the underarm of the straight sleeve is matching the underarm of the outer sleeve. And then I'll go ahead, you know that the round sleeve and the straight sleeve now is equal, unlike the outer one which have pleats, right? So you can see I've joined it. It is very simple. And you guys, this is it. This is how beautiful this is looking. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you do, give this video a thumbs up and I will see you guys in my next one.